Grandpa Liu literally had his granddaughter Liu Ruyun dragged out of the military and brought here for a blind date. I untied the ropes that had Liu Ruyun all twisted up and looked at her. Are our grandfathers actually out of their minds? I've never heard of anything like this. Liu Ruyun was just about to say something in the bedroom when she heard the door lock click shut. Lin Yuyan's voice came from the other side of the door. Young master, please don't be upset. Both gentlemen figured you two wouldn't cooperate, so locking the door from outside was their idea too. This door was custom made. Please don't bother trying to break it down, it won't work. You couldn't blow it open with a bomb, and on top of that, every window in the bedroom is triple-layered bulletproof glass, and the balcony door has been welded shut. Wishing you both a wonderful evening. We'll come unlock the door in the morning. I stared blankly at myself and this tall, cold-eyed woman standing next to me thinking, what on earth is happening? Liu Ruyun frowned slightly and looked up to see the central AC had just been switched on remotely. She checked the doors and windows and confirmed it. There's no way out of this room until they open it from the outside. We can't break through that glass either. Hearing that, I frantically patted my pockets looking for my phone. Liu Ruyun said flatly, neither of us has our phone. The two of us stood there staring at the spread of red wine, beer, liquor, and cocktails laid out in front of us. Neither of us knew what to say. I let out a long sigh, dropped onto the couch and said, looks like we're stuck here for the night. Suddenly, Liu Ruyun noticed the temperature in the room starting to climb and felt a wave of restless heat rise inside her. I seemed to pick up on her unease and instinctively looked over at her. What I didn't notice was that my own face had gone flushed without me realizing it. You okay? I watched her tug at the scarf around her collar. Her eyes were glassy and burning the moment I asked. Her expression went hazy and she suddenly understood. There's something in the AC air. Once it clicked, Liu Ruyun quickly scanned the room. Go take a cold shower now. A wave of heat surged through her body, confirming what she already suspected. She smoothly shrugged off her fitted jacket and tossed it over the back of the couch. Seeing her take off her jacket, I felt a jolt of alarm. What is she doing? There's something in the air from the AC. Go rinse off, it'll help. She was fighting to keep herself together. Her voice came out with a slight tremor. Both our eyes drifted to the spot where the security camera had been removed. We understood immediately. This was those two old men's doing again. I was feeling awful and jumped up to head to the walk-in closet, hoping to find something to change into before taking a bath. But the moment I stepped inside, my heart sank. On the men's side, there was nothing but tank tops, and a pair of baggy shorts, not a single piece of clothing that covered your arms or legs. The women's side was even more unbelievable. Just one spare lace lingerie set. Everything else was completely empty. I accepted my fate and grabbed the baggiest shorts I could find, ducked into the bathroom and stood under the shower for 2 minutes. I felt the heat in my body ease up a bit, and figured Liu Ruyun outside was probably suffering just as badly. I turned on the faucet to fill the tub and called out, get in here and rinse off too. The clarity in Liu Ruyun's eyes had almost completely faded. Her gaze had gone soft and unfocused. She seemed to understand what I meant, and quickly got up and walked in. The whole bathroom was thick with steam. I was fully submerged in the bathtub while Liu Ruyun stood under the shower, letting the cold water pour over her after a while. She seemed to suddenly notice something and turned to look at me in the tub. You feeling any better, she asked? I weakly shook my head as another wave of heat crashed over me. I'm burning up, I feel terrible. My voice was so hoarse and low it didn't even sound like mine. Liu Ruyun paused. She was now completely certain. Whatever those two old men had put in the air was no joke. Cold water alone wasn't going to fix this. I felt so bad I'd already started pulling at my clothes without thinking. Liu Ruyun stepped out from under the shower and knelt beside the tub. She grabbed my restless hands. Don't. The moment her soft, warm lips pressed against mine, my foggy mind snapped awake for a second. My eyes went wide as I stared at Liu Ruyun in shock. My instinct was to push her away. I tried a few times, but everything inside me was screaming that I didn't want to. Does that feel any better? She whispered. Just as I was about to lean into the kiss, Liu Ruyun suddenly pulled back. She let go and watched me quietly. I sat with the memory of that kiss, and the burning in my chest had actually started to fade. But the moment she let go, that fire came roaring back, and I think I finally understood. Liu Ruyun, are we really going to have to go there? I asked, my voice low and unsteady. She gave a quiet nod. Without a single word, I found myself gripping my shorts tight. I hesitated for a moment, but in the end, instinct won over reason. I reached out and pulled her by the waist and kissed her first. The charged tension in the room didn't fade until around 4 in the morning. When I finally came to, the clock already read 11 a.m. I dragged myself up from the covers. The oversized shorts I'd grabbed the night before were basically pointless at this point. The woman walking out of the bathroom had already changed into a fresh and clean casual outfit. The moment she saw I was awake, she didn't hesitate. She walked straight over and crouched down in front of me, her voice full of guilt. Are you okay? I shook my head, not even a little. And that was the honest truth. My whole body felt like it had been run over. My lower back especially was wrecked. But I had to admit, Liu Ruyun had made last night something else. Liu Ruyun, these scratches all over my back. Those are all yours, I grumbled. She slipped off her light jacket and gently draped it over my shoulders. She looked at me intently and said my name slow and deliberate. Shen Feng-I was caught off guard by how serious she suddenly sounded. Liu Ruyun, 24 years old, Special Forces soldier. Drinking is my only bad habit. I can hold my liquor pretty well, but if you say the word, I'll quit entirely single with no exes. Clean personal history. As for finances, both our family's situations, I own 1 property and have 2 bank accounts. 1 personal and 1 military payroll card. I'll hand both over to you.
Spend them however you want. I won't ask questions. Her words left me frozen solid on the bed.
Then she added one more thing. I'm filing my paperwork tomorrow when I get back to base. I blurted out without thinking. What paperwork? Service members have to file a formal request to get married, she answered straight-faced. You want to get married? You want to marry me? I had been about to tell her to just chalk this up as a one-night thing. Neither of us could have controlled what happened in that situation, but here she was trying to take responsibility for me. Her gaze dropped to the marks all over my back. Those scratch lines brought back flashes of me biting through the sounds last night, caught between passion and restraint. I slept with you, so I'm going to own up to that. I followed her eyes to the marks on my skin. My face and ears went completely red. I'm not asking you to take responsibility. I'm being real with you. I've never even dated anyone. I'm not done having fun yet. Marriage is the last thing on my mind. Besides, this wasn't entirely her fault anyway. The ones to blame are those two scheming old men. They're the ones who set this whole thing up. Liu Ruyun's brow furrowed slightly, but she didn't say anything. I looked at her expression, and my eyes landed on her brand new outfit. Where'd you get those clothes? Liu Ruyun explained with a helpless sigh. At 5 in the morning, the door opened. I heard it, and went out and found a set of fresh clothes left at the entrance. I remember just barely passing out around that time. The clock on the wall said it was almost 4 a.m. This woman had been up all night, and she still woke up the moment she heard that door. By the time I cleaned up and came out, my back and legs felt a lot less sore. I found Liu Ruyun sitting alone on the couch in silence, lost in her own thoughts I had been planning to bring up last night. But then I remembered there was something more urgent to deal with. Liu Ruyun stood up from the couch. Come on, let me take you to get some food. I shook my head. Food can wait. Take me back to the Liu family estate right now. We're running out of time! She took one look at my urgency and gave a thoughtful nod when that blue phantom rolled into the Liu estate's courtyard. I rode pure adrenaline and fury as I stormed into the villa. Liu Ruyun stood beside me and we both took in the empty house. The look on her face was somewhere between amused and done. My phone was sitting quietly on the living room coffee table. I walked over and picked it up. The screen lit up, and there was a pre-recorded video waiting for me, Grandpa Shen, Grandpa Liu, and both our parents were all in it. I watched the whole thing in stunned silence, then turned to look at Liu Ruyun beside me. She said quietly, "They've gone on our honeymoon for us." She finished watching and rubbed her temples with a helpless look. Between two families, they couldn't produce one responsible adult, and it didn't stop there. The one remaining housekeeper came over and told me, "The estate is going under renovation for 6 months. You'll need to find somewhere else to stay during that time." With that, the whole staff bowed deeply, then turned and walked out. Liu Ruyun and I exchanged a look. She thought back to something in the video, and suddenly it clicked. She grabbed my hand and made a run for the door. The two of us sprinted to the car hand in hand. Liu Ruyun naturally opened the car door for me and got me settled before walking around to the driver's side. Neither of us even noticed how natural that all felt. When we pulled up to the locked gates of the Liu family estate, the whole world went quiet. Turns out I wasn't the only one who got kicked out. Liu Ruyun was too. I stared at the scene in front of me, and finally lost it laughing. "You've actually got it worse than me. Your family literally welded the front gate shut." Liu Ruyun watched me cracking up, and shook her head with a helpless laugh. "All right, let's go. We need to find you somewhere to stay." Liu Ruyun brought me to her villa. "I'm heading back to base tomorrow. Stay here for now." She set up the door system to recognize my iris and fingerprint so I wouldn't need a key. "There are cars in the garage with the keys already inside. Take whichever one you want." Liu Ruyun walked me through the whole place, rattling off details as we went. I spoke up and cut her off. She looked up at me and stopped walking. "You don't have to go through all this trouble. I'll just book a hotel room," I said seriously. "Yeah, we spent the night together, but that was out of our hands. That doesn't mean I should just move into your house." Liu Ruyun saw right through me and calmly asked, "Any idea when the elders are coming back?" I hesitated and shook my head. "How would I know? They can't actually be gone for months, right? That's probably exactly what's happening. The Liu estate is under renovation. They'd have nowhere to come back to anyway. They'll wait until it's done before returning." She kept going. "And what about the companies? Are they just going to abandon Shen Group and Liu Group?" I didn't buy it and pushed back immediately. Both companies are major players in the city. Taking off for months to travel just isn't realistic. "Call and check," Liu Ruyun reminded me after I hung up. I felt like the whole world had abandoned me. My dad, the current chairman of Shen Group, had notified the board last night that he was going abroad for a 6-month overseas inspection. Day-to-day operations would be handled by the corporate secretary, and big decisions would go through video calls. Bottom line, he wasn't coming back to the city for 6 months. Liu Ruyun called Liu Group's corporate secretary too, and got the exact same answer. I was completely out of options. "Let's just go get something to eat first," Liu Ruyun suggested. After the meal, I made up my mind and looked at her. "Liu Ruyun." I paused for a few seconds. She looked up and held my gaze steadily. "I think I should still go with a hotel. The real reason I came back to the country was to start my PhD program, and I can move into campus housing at Capital University tomorrow. I came back to study. I was abroad by myself for a long time, so I really wanted to come home." Liu Ruyun looked at me and came out with a very direct question. "Is there someone you like?" "Huh, no," I blinked for a second, then shook my head. "Then can I pursue you?" There wasn't a hint of joking in her voice. "I do owe you. But since you're not ready for marriage right now, I'll take it step by step. Start by courting you properly. We build something real first. And if you decide I'm worth it after spending time with me, then we talk about the future." Looking at how completely serious she was, I thought it over and gave her my answer. "Okay, let's give it a shot." Because honestly, I didn't dislike her at all. If anything, being around her felt steady and grounding. Since I had to check in at school the next day, I figured I'd do some shopping and Liu Ruyun came along to the mall with me. The whole time we were there, she made a really good impression. Every time I picked something out, she paid for it before I could even reach for my wallet. Didn't matter if it was designer or just everyday stuff, I wasn't short on money. Not by a long shot, but the way she did it genuinely made me happy. It showed she wasn't petty. The two of us shopped until the city lights came on. Just as we were heading to grab dinner, Liu Ruyun's phone rang. She hung up and her whole expression went serious. "Sorry, I can't stay, emergency call from base." I nodded to show I understood stay safe out there. She looked at me a little uneasy. "You good getting back to the hotel on your own?" "I've got it. Don't worry." I gave her a reassuring look. Then something came to me and I quickly pressed the shopping bag I just bought at the boutique into her hands. "This is a gift from me," Liu Ruyun paused. A flash of surprise crossed her eyes. "Thank you, I'll reach out when I'm back." I nodded and called a car. The second I stepped into my hotel suite, my phone rang. I glanced at the name lighting up the screen and frowned slightly. Got it. On the other end, Liu Ruyun was in full combat gear, leading her unit as they arrived at the airport where a private jet sat waiting on the tarmac. Liu Ruyun and another female special operations commander exchanged crisp formal salutes. "What's the situation?" Liu Ruyun turned to ask Shenjing. Shenjing's unit had come straight from the base, so she clearly had more of the details. "Let me walk you through it." Just as the two of them were talking, a group of more than 10 medical personnel suddenly rushed into the terminal, followed by ground crew, pushing all kinds of medical equipment to support the relief effort. The city's central hospital had sent a medical team to travel with us. Shenjing passed over her phone. Liu Ruyun took it and scanned the notification, nodded and turned to brief her team before everyone boarded and got settled. Given the long flight ahead and the 3-month support mission that followed, both the special ops soldiers and the medical staff took off their masks. Liu Ruyun and Shenjing were getting introduced to the medical team's lead, when all of a sudden Liu Ruyun felt a burning stare coming her way. She snapped her head around, and the moment she saw those wide, shocked and questioning eyes of mine, my brain went completely blank. A 3-month mission to country F, and I'd be doing it alongside her.